Good evening. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Let's see what's happening over here with my volume. All is good. All is good. Hello, good evening. How's everybody doing? Hi. Hi. Hello, hello, hello. You're on time. I literally just pressed go live. Well, it's actually not go live, it's just live. Hi, hello, hello. So how have you been? How have you been, guys? It's been a while. Dallas, Texas in the house. I love it. Hello. Hi. Welcome everybody. Welcome. So I thought let me just chill with you for a while. I am happy Friday. Yes, happy Friday. And I have some time, so I thought let me hang out with you and see if I can answer some questions you might have. It's been a while. It's been a while. Yeah, I've been good. I've been good. I've been doing so many things. Okay, let's see. So you are in Lesotho, but I'm in Botswana. Who's that? What's that? Hey, I can't even see. Guys, I'm on the other side of 40 something, okay? So maybe I should actually wear my glasses. No, the light is in my face, so I can't see some of the stuff. So tell me where you're joining from. I think that's going to be fun. But either way, I mean, I've been doing quite a lot. There's some exciting things that I've been working on, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. Hello from Kenya. I was supposed to come to Kenya end of August for a speaking engagement, but Swaziland is in the house too, I think. And Zim, okay, well, hello, my people. Hello, my people. I was supposed to come to Kenya end of August, but I can't come to Kenya right now because they recommended we don't have the event around end of August because of elections. So yeah, so my Kenyan people, I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to wait a little longer. But I'm in Botswana next week, so I am so excited about that one, and I am not planning on leaving early after the event, so I look forward to connecting with people. Hello, Sarah. Namibia, localies in the house. Hi, guys. So anyway, I've been doing some exciting things. I did a shoot recently. I was out in the bush. It's exciting. Maybe I'll tell you about it when it's about to air. But that will be in August. And yeah, I've also been doing quite a bit of work around planning for my big event in November. And my generosity to open it up is giving me headaches, but it's exciting because you know, I want that event to always just be top notch, and we've started really well. This is the third one, and I'm in the middle of, you know, hectically in the middle of the arrangements now, trying to secure a venue, the appropriate venue, because the venue is everything as well. It's a really big number. It's going to be over 500 people this year, and I thought, you know what, let me do that. Let me when I did, which was last year, by the way, you won't believe it, or can you believe it? There's nothing to share about the event in November. It sold out a year ago. Well, last year, a year to the event. So I have no more seats. I know a lot of people are still asking for tickets. There are no tickets. The event sold out last November. And I did open it up. So this time I opened it up, and I've ended up with 500 and odd people. And, you know, it's always a difficult one to find the perfect venue for a number like that. So I'm going to find a different way this year to announce the tickets and for the sale of the tickets, because people crash my website. People literally don't sleep to get the tickets. So I'm going to find a way to make sure that I can do this thing in batches and not, you know, bombard my website. But in any event, so I'm excited about that. I really am. And I've started securing speakers, and it's really going to be lovely. I can't wait. I really can't wait to meet everyone. I can't wait to meet the regulars. There are people who have become regulars. So I am excited about that. I'm also working on something very exciting that I'm going to be executive producing. That's looking good. I'm going to be executive producing it on TV. It's looking good. It's a nice show. Can't say anything about it right now, but watch the space. And of course, on top of that, I'm also, busy with my work, work in terms of my business, and we are landing new projects. So, I mean, we're really seeing great momentum coming back. Momentum is shifting. So clients are now spending on projects again. So yeah, and let me do my quick disclaimer. I'm not in Forex. I'm not a trader. I'm not a crypto, whatever. If I ever contacted you about that stuff, it's not me. Cool. Now that's out of the way. So yes, and then I've also been doing a lot of mentorship. Also what I'm excited about is before I talk about the Kulisani Ventures, because I'm going to be doing a live next week about it. And I was quite excited about the Verve Click Bold Woman Awards and how they turned out. It was really amazing, incredible. And I'm glad, quite a few people got to watch them also on live stream. So that was really lovely. And yeah, they all deserved to win, to be honest. I mean, I think we all know that. But, ultimately, we had to choose a winner in each category. And I'm really proud of those ladies. And, that we're now part of the same ecosystem, and I can't wait. So that was the first edition of the Bold Woman Award in South Africa. But I mean, it's a global award. And it's the first time it's in South Africa as Bold, and it's the rebranded award. I mean, I won 2017, Dr. Judy won 2018, but there were other winners before us, and that was still called El Boss. So yeah, I'm busy and booked. That's what they say. August is a very busy month for me, and I have quite a few speaking engagements, most of them privately booked, so you'll hear me say very little about them or nothing about them, as always. But I do have one on the 11th that I'll say something about, but I'm excited about that. August is one of my busiest months, as expected, I guess. And then, there's Kulisani Ventures, MIC Kulisani Ventures, that I posted about the other day. I sit on their board, and they're doing really amazing things. And I was quite happy to support the call for women who are looking for funding. And it's a great opportunity. Because, these platforms, you must get involved in them. You must try and apply, because what it also does, even if you don't qualify now and you don't meet the criteria, but you take yourself through the process and understand what is the criteria. And typically, whatever, I always say that you must prepare your business for funding. You must prepare your business to be able to stand a chance and opportunity for funding. And that means you have to get things right from the get-go. Make sure you've got the right financial discipline. Make sure that when a potential funder says to you, can we have your management accounts, have something. I mean, it doesn't have to be in the format of a seasoned company, but have something. The problem is that if you don't have financial discipline, if you don't show how serious you are about your business, a lot of funders then can't help you, even though they have the funds. So, but I think that even if you don't get through, you must still try the process and understand what they're looking for, and then you can prepare your business for that, for the next round and other funding opportunities. And I'm more and more looking at how can we help entrepreneurs access funding. But it's no use me giving you an opportunity to, or exposing opportunities for you to get funding, and your business is not fundable. So, and it's a really tricky one. So we need to stop playing small, guys. Stop thinking small. Let's think our business is big, even when they're not yet big. You know, keep that vision going and set it up such that when a big opportunity comes, you are able to receive it. What you don't want is get the opportunity and then, well, I mean, come across an opportunity, then you're running around because you didn't do things right since 1950 when you started. So yes, so on the 2nd of August, I'm doing a live session with one of the recipients of funding from the Kulisani Ventures, the first window. So last year they did the first round of funding. And now what's open now is the second round. So I'm gonna talk to those ladies. There's 2 ladies I'm talking to, and I'll post about this. I'll give you more information on the first. And I want them to share how they managed to secure funding for their businesses. And I want them to share with you how you can do it as well, because they've been through it. They got the funding. They're doing amazing things. Their business is growing. So I want them to share, because sometimes, I mean, I might tell you these are some of the things you need to do, and it maybe doesn't quite register. So maybe talk to someone who's actually on the who is a beneficiary of this funding, and so that you also know it. I'm not playing. I mean, it's not a joke. Like it's for real. People are getting the funding. But most importantly, I think every opportunity must be taken as an opportunity to learn something if you're not going to lend something. So even with the Verve Clicker Awards, I mean, we received over 250 submissions or nominations and applications. Over 250. We ended up with 6 finalists. But the people who've taken themselves through the process now know what are some of the things that they may or may not have done well at, and you know, so with every opportunity that you give yourself, with every chance that you give yourself, you learn something. You learn something. So it's never a waste of time. And I really think that you should position yourself for more funding. And I want to tell you that, you know, in business, I mean, I've been in business for a long time. I never really needed funding, because luckily I started a business that could self-fund from day one. But along the way, the business grows, you acquire other businesses, you know, but you can't just sit there and say you don't need funding. So, you know, you're not gonna do the things you should do, right? Because growth itself is a challenge in business. So a lot of people chase so much growth in business, they forget that growth costs money. You need to invest money in a business for you to experience that growth. So, you know, you may not need funding maybe at the point where you are, but if you're trying to grow your business, if you're trying to grow to the next thing, and sometimes you find that maybe clients delay payments, and you need a little stopgap here and there. You know, these are realities in business, and even mature businesses go through cash flow crunches depending on what's happening in the business. I mean, it's one of the things I've had to literally navigate in this last couple of months, something that we've never had an issue with in 9 years of this business. But, you know, growth hits you at the same time as your clients delaying payments because they're changing systems, all of the stuff, whatever the situation is. And then you have to look at your reserves. Do you have enough reserves? You know, what can you put in? And these are all realities of business. And I can tell you that if you're not managing the cash flow, you don't have a business. If you're not tight on collecting money from clients, in my team, I'm chief debt collector. and the people who deal with invoices in these companies where there's delays, they know. They know. I am the one that personally calls them, because, you know, when it comes to business cash flow, you have to be so diligent, and you can't. You know, I say to my team, from the moment if we were supposed to have received payment on the 27th, if and if on the 29th it has, on the 28th it hasn't arrived, if the payment hasn't been made, tell me immediately. Because you cannot delay payments. You cannot wait for clients to delay payments. It's something you must deal with immediately, because it has such dire consequences to your business. And those kinds of things, it's not just small businesses that are susceptible to it. It's medium-sized businesses, it's large businesses. And especially if you have nothing to fall back on. So that's why I'm saying sometimes your business might grow and you use your reserves for growth, and then you might run into trouble with your clients not paying. And you need to be able to have a business that is getting to a position where it can be funded. Anyway, that's the stuff I'm gonna bring that to you, that live on the 2nd of August. But I'll tell you more about it as the days progress. But yeah, so if you have a question, put it in the question box, right, in the question thing, and then in the question box, and then I'll answer it. Well, I'll answer it as best as I can. So cheers. Tell me something, guys. Are you back at work? I mean, I went to see a client the other day. It was so fabulous. I swear to God, I got emotional walking into the building. I felt like, oh my gosh. I did say cheers, no? Okay. And I felt so, I felt like, wow, you know? Because last time I was in that building was 3 years ago. And I walked in, I swear to God, I wanted to kiss everyone I was coming across and hug them. And I wanted to be like, oh, hi, you know, but it was good. And I met a really nice client, really great energy. So are you guys back at work? Are you finding are you getting stuck in traffic now? Is life back to normal? I'm quite curious to see what's happening and how people are transitioning. I know that some of my clients are still, you know, in hybrid or largely hybrid. Some actually work really completely from home. Back at the office, okay, somebody else is looking for work, trying to start a business. It's also overwhelming. Yeah, it can be. Just put, if you have a question for me, you can put it in the question box. I can try and help you navigate. And looking for work and trying a business, I think, I mean, I guess you have nothing to lose, so you better be trying something, right? Somebody says they're working at the mine, so they never closed. I hope it's diamonds and gold or platinum. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, listen, if you're unemployed at the moment or don't have a business going, I guess you have nothing to lose. You know, you can try it, you can try anything. And that's I always think that sometimes, you know, when you have a blank canvas, you have so much more opportunity to do something because you're not worried about losing something, you know. And I hope I'm making sense. I know it's a Friday, so things might be strange, but you know, what I mean is that as heartbreaking as it is, and as despondent as people might feel, you know, it's your circumstance, so you're gonna have to fight through that and do something, and find something, you know. It's such an incredible thing with jobs and opportunities. I think that there's less, and I've said this before, there's less opportunities in corporate, so we should be encouraging more and more people to try something in business, sell something, you know, run your own gig, whatever it is. And I mean, if you have a skill, sell that skill set. There are places where you can you know, register for your skill set, whatever your skill set is, but you better be good at it. Yeah, it's a tough thing. I wish you all the best, I really do. So yeah, it's really lovely to be back at work, right? And some people are continuing to work from home. Okay, I just can't do it. Like, ever since I left corporate, I've always I'm a work from home person since I left corporate. I have a home office, but then I also have an office. You know, I'll go to the office with my team, but I can't do these screen things anymore. I'm tired of them. Every time a client says we must meet, or I say I want to meet a client, I'm like, can we have breakfast, or can I come to your office? Because that for me is now first prize. And there was a time when I thought really I was getting tired of what I'm doing, and I realized that no, you know, I'm getting tired of what I'm doing because I don't enjoy how I'm doing it. So I've started seeing clients and I'm feeling so energized, and suddenly I'm thinking, yo, I think I like what I do. But anyway, we'll see where things go. But I just can't do screens anymore. For me, it's just it's not working for me anymore. If I have to, yes, I have to do it, but because I can, in fact, it's quite strange that we suddenly I can't really fathom the idea of driving from one meeting to another. So this idea of still having like some meetings on Teams or Zoom online and physical, I think I like the hybrid model of having meetings, not necessarily of working. For us, I mean, I'm a relationship manager, so you know that's what I do. Okay, fine, I'm a CEO, but I mean, you people and CEOs, hey, people are like so into social media. People, oh, CEO. CEO of what? So anyway, yes, I'm a CEO, but my job is relationship management. My job is to look after my clients, make sure we are servicing them, we're delivering what we said we would deliver. But yeah, guys, people are so into titles and stature and things, and maybe I'm celebrating them, so let me not act like I'm laughing. Wait, I'm laughing, of course, because of how it's used. It's like, I'm the CEO of my own company. Hey, are you paying people? First of all, you know, do you have money to pay people in your company? You are CEO of what? What? Like, hey, I think maybe I'm just too old for social media, guys. Because maybe that's the thing. That's the thing that has to be done. You know, CEO. Hey. Cheers. So anyway, I am a CEO. But the title doesn't put money in the bank account, okay? Working puts money in the bank account. So I like people who are proud to be CEOs, but they put the effort, the work behind the title. So they're almost, you know, you earn the title. Because I really believe everything in life has to be earned. Right? Titles don't generate no revenue. And I can tell you, I'll give you a little thing I've done over the years. When I go to see my clients, one of the things I don't do is dress exceedingly glamorous. When I go see my clients, I go looking like I need money. I don't go looking I don't go looking like I live under a tree or a bridge or something. No, I just don't go looking like sorry guys. so anyway, I don't go looking like I am money. Because they're not gonna give me money. So be careful how you show up to your clients, you know. Even fancy cars, you know, don't, in my world, and I don't know about other people's world, and I can tell you that there are businesses where, you know, a person with a different skin tone can rock up in a Ferrari or a McLaren. They are celebrated. They are given money because they can be trusted. Tina, as you rock up with a fancy car, you are rich enough. We're not gonna give you money. You know, it's no, it It is true, guys. So I try and tone down my money look when I go to my clients, because I don't want them to be overwhelmed by my, all of the things. And in any event, I'm a very simple person. I try to be as simple as I can. I am a very simple, complicated person. Yeah, it's possible I look like money effortlessly. Thank you. Hey, babe. How's it look? Good. Had a good day. I'm on a live. So anyway, I think that it's important, and I say these things because sometimes entrepreneurs think that they have to dress to impress their clients. No, don't do it. They don't get impressed. I know, I said simple. I am simple but complicated. Simply complicated. Complex, actually. I'm not complicated. I'm very simple. I'm complex. I am multiple layers of complexity. Oh, I've got depth. I'm like a dark berry. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Yeah, anyway. So I think, yeah, I think when you are going when you're going to hustle something from a client, I think you must just be aware that, where they are sitting is a different perspective to where you are. And sometimes you are part of wars, battles, internal battles that you didn't even understand you were part of. So I think that when you go to see a client, my advice to entrepreneurs is don't go there to show off of how much you have, no. And I can tell you 100%, don't wear anything that's branded. Don't take fancy handbags to clients. Don't, just look presentable, yes, of course, look presentable. But I'm just saying for some of us, for us, you don't get rewarded for, if a client sees my car, I don't sleep well, because I'm like, man. So half the time when I go to clients, I will park in the corner, look there, and then I walk to them so that in case something happens and they see me, because I've had those experiences before where a client says, we're paying you too much, you got way too much money. And as if when they pay you, they're paying you. They're paying the company so that I pay salaries. Okay, plus me, I'm in the salary bucket. But no, it's true, guys. Now that's how I've experienced it. Some people come, they rock up in their sports cars, they are worshipped. It's like, these are the kind of people we want to work with, because it shows, if someone is okay money-wise, because some people think a car says you are okay money-wise. The world we live in. So I am just like, guys, when you're going to look presentable, but don't overly show off, because it will backfire. It will backfire. You won't get what you're looking for. So if you keep knocking on doors and you keep seeing clients and you don't get anything in return and you're not getting much success, just check how you are showing up, ne? And try and keep it as neutral as possible. I always go with colors when I go to see my clients will be brown or black or gray. Like as less as, I always think my aim, and maybe because I'm in a service business, my aim is not to outshine my client. My aim is to provide services to my client. So I see myself as, we are service providers to our clients, and I want them to only focus on that. I want them to focus on how skilled we are at delivering projects, at delivering, at software development, or at project management, or whatever we do. I want them to focus on that. I don't want to focus on them to focus on how I look. It's just such a distraction. And in fact, they won't give you money. They won't give you work. I'm not saying, you know, they'll give you because you look a bit raggedy. I'm just saying look presentable. And don't try to show off to your clients. Don't go there and be like, oh, I'm CEO, you know, and your bags, those with big writing. Don't do it, guys. But having said that, do what you want. I'm just telling you what I think works, and I'm telling you what I think works based on what I've experienced. And yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, let's see what these questions. Tusmo says, my boss rocked up in a Porsche. Yo, the rates were cut by the client. Yeah, and especially in our kind of, I mean, I'm also in consulting. So, yeah, let's just say it's not wise. Don't do it. Just be, you know, just be... Yes, guys, because I will share what I've learned, but ultimately you still have to just do what you want. So, you know, because some people might think, I know, Amanda, that's how you do it. We don't want to do it like that. I'm like, sure, go try it and see how it works. That's experience. That's how you learn these things. Because sometimes if I tell you, you think, Amanda is just being Amanda. Just go and try it and tell me how many deals you've won when you showed up to your clients looking like a bag of money. You know, and you don't want to take away from the essence of what you are there to discuss, you know. So I mean, I even wear the most like basic jewelry, the most understated, everything understated, undertoned, understated. But of course, I can't now go and look like I'm wearing a potato sack. No, still look presentable. Just keep it monotonous, you know, like black and white, gray, brown. Keep it, you know, you don't want to distract from why you are there. And in fact, in any client conversation, the client is king, okay? So when I say the client is king, you are there, especially for some of us in services business, you are there to service the client. You're not there to show off whatever. You're not there to make them feel less about themselves for whatever reason. And the one thing you learn in a service business is humility. Your arrogance is thrown out the window very quickly because you soon learn who holds the pen. You soon learn. Yeah, anyway. Let me see. I already said this. We are a project management business. I just don't know why you're asking. So why are you asking? People who ask me questions that are so directly suspicious leave me suspicious. Okay. This one says, hi Amanda, I started my clothing business last year. It is growing, but at a lower pace, a slower pace. But right now I feel like getting a job. Sorry, this is, I feel like getting a job because I need that retail experience. I've never been employed before. I just finished studying last year. Would you recommend that I find a job first? You know, this is actually something that I get asked quite a lot of, and I had a very definitive answer some years ago, and maybe even some months ago. I had a definitive answer, but I believe in starting a business that you at least know something about, or there's an opportunity that you saw that you can exploit and you can learn along the way. Learning along the way means your success might take a longer time to come. But if you start, like I'm a project manager by profession. So I'm a professional project manager. That's how I came up in my career. And even when I was the head of technology somewhere, or CIO, or head of a division, it was all still within running change, change. So when I started a business that I knew very well. And because that's half the job one. People buy from people whom they are comfortable with, who, they'd be like, you make sense, right? You make sense. You give them the comfort. Because imagine somebody coming to talk to me about a project, us implementing a project for them, and I don't even know how to implement a project. And I've always been very clear that I'm going to start a business that even if there was no one left in the business, I would get up and do the job myself. And before, I always said, I think that my ability to be successful in business is 100% underpinned by the fact that I had 13 years in corporate to build up my experience, which means I understand how that world works, and people have experienced my credibility over a number of years. Therefore, they're buying from somebody who's credible, and somebody who has a business that they know, somebody who has proven delivery under their set. Because when you're starting a business, clients buy from you, the person. Then your aim is to build a brand in a business that's bigger than you, such that clients can buy from your staff or your employees rather than always from Amanda. So I'm not the only one that services my clients in my business, but there are clients that I particularly look after personally. So I would say that, if you're starting a clothing business, are you just buying and reselling? Are you making? What is it about it? You said retail, so I assume you're buying and selling. I don't think that requires much more. You can learn that on the job. So I don't know, maybe if you are looking to get into manufacturing and etc. And you shouldn't have to go find a job to learn how to run a business. And let me maybe come back to the point I made, that I used to feel that way. I used to think that you must work somewhere first before you can actually start a business and be successful at it, because you learn so many other different things. But the truth is that the younger generation is not needing to get that kind of previous experience, because they're starting businesses that are different. They're in fact starting businesses that maybe never existed before. So I think that there's something to be reconsidered around that, because some of the tech entrepreneurs that are succeeding never went and worked for anyone. They've been hustling, trying to put things together in their garage, in their mother's garage or father's garage, So I guess it all boils down to, what is the vision for your life? What are you looking to do with your life? Learn what you need to learn, but it doesn't have to be from another job. You have a job now, so maybe you should look at what you're doing as a job, and then part of your job is to make sure that you upskill yourself, you learn what you need to learn. But again, I don't know why you would want a job beyond what you said, which is learning. If the business is not working out and you're not making enough money, first of all, you've just finished school, so I hope you don't have any debt except student loan. So don't bombard yourself with things early on until you can really start to make inroads. And I say that because it takes a lot of pressure off you. I remember very well when we started working, hey, English is starting to rest. It's going on the bench. I remember when we started working, and when I say we, in my generation, you accumulated all these debts, stupid debts, clothing account, credit card, these things trap you into such a sorry state, hey? You earn 3.5. I started, my first salary was 3,500 rands a month. Hey, but it went a long way. So, first thing I did with my money when I started getting paid, first thing I did was put away 10% towards my retirement annuity. So I started saving for my retirement when I was 22 years old, when I started working. And that's one thing you should always do. Please start early. Like, and as your income grows, you then start to, you know, put away more money. But I mean, then you take your money, then goes, and then I had a student loan to pay. I had to pay TEFSA back, and then you start. You will have these clothing places. You know them. I'm not gonna mention them. Some of them start with one starts with a T, another one E, another one F. But already that's like all your money gone there because you want to just accumulate more and more clothes. So I say that when you don't have responsibilities, try and limit, don't get into debt too quickly. And when you get into debt, please get into debt that is going to help you make money. So whatever money you get or borrow or loan, you take out a loan, let it be money that is going to help you build something, not money that's going to help you buy a jacket that's then gonna look gray after 3 washes. Save up money, buy quality things. Doesn't have to be a lot of them, but just buy. I know, guys. I am not gonna mention them here. So, but buy something of quality that will last you forever. Not forever, but a long time. But anyway, the point I'm making is that you've just finished school, and I hope you don't have much debt, which means you should not be under pressure to be going, let me go get a job just so I can make money because my business is not working out. So find a way to balance it, because if your passion is in what you're doing, if your passion is in your clothing business, learn about the clothing business and grow within it. But if you're under pressure to make money and earn a salary, then I understand, get a job. But I don't believe that you have to go get the job to learn about your clothing business. That I don't believe. I don't believe so. Hey, we all had those accounts, okay? But the point is that don't do it, guys. And I want to talk to the generation after us, because I mean, I'm 44, right? So anyone who's below that is the generation after me. When I say below that, okay, anyone who's 43, 42, 40, you are my generation. 39, 38, you are my generation. 35 below, okay, to me you are the next generation. I'm talking to you because you should have better money lessons than we did. We have better money lessons than our parents did. And I can 100% assure you my children have way better money lessons than I did, because I teach them. So the things that we know are going to set up the next generation for success are things that we have to impart onto the next generation. And I can tell you that this thing of watching social media and put yourself under pressure to accumulate things just so that you can be seen to be succeeding or seen to be successful is not going to take you anywhere if you are not successful. So if you're successful and you're able to do all these things you want to do, hundreds, go for it. We got you, cheers type thing. We celebrate you. But I'm saying if you're not in a position to do it, don't do it. Don't be under pressure. Don't go getting debt. The minute you have debt to buy food, you have a problem. So if you use your credit card to buy food, you have a problem. If you use your credit card to buy clothing, you have a problem. And I'm saying these things, these are basic things, but a lot of us had to learn the hard way. So it would be really sad if the next generation still made the same mistakes that we made, because with debt eats up all your money. And don't look for ways to get rich quick. You're not gonna get rich quick. I can tell you, it won't happen. It really won't happen. Doesn't matter who promises you what, it does not exist as a concept. It does not exist. You build wealth over a period of time by having the right financial discipline. You're not gonna reach your financial goals if you keep giving your money to scammers who promise you returns on trading when you're not gonna get that. You're gonna lose your money. You're not gonna get your financial goals in place if you keep getting debt to fund your lifestyle. If you keep funding your lifestyle through debt, you are struggling financially, you have a problem. And I would say talk to your financial advisor, and that's the only person who should be giving you financial and investment advice is your financial advisor. Talk to them and see how you can get yourself out of that hole, and make sure that you stay out of the hole. Because the problem with these things is that if you're so indebted, and I understand times are tough. I mean, guys, I go to my supermarket where I buy groceries. It starts with a W. And I spend so much money. Like every time the kids get up to open the fridge or the snack drawer, I have a small heart failure. You know, like, you know, when you start looking at when you start giving your kids the dirty look, like the look that says, are you really gonna eat again? But obviously you can't say that with your mouth. So you say it with your eyes. You're like, oh my gosh, are you doing? And they stand in front of the fridge. They open it. They stand in front of it. And they look. That time you're thinking, Jesus, power costs. Then you're thinking, yo, they go, they grab, they sit, and they come back again in like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And you're just like, must you eat again? Like, why are you eating? Listen, go ahead, have children. Nina, and then there's school fees, and then there's the price of petrol, and then there's. So what I'm saying is that if you trap yourself into unnecessary debt, you're not going to have enough money to withstand the tough times. And the truth is that I'm starting to understand why when we were growing up, people used to lock fridges. But that's so devilish, honestly. It's like Satan in the middle. I tell you, lock a fridge when children must eat. Those people. Anyway. And the point I'm making, again, I'm sure I've been making the point, is that the best place you want to be is have a low reserve such that you are not forced into compromising situations in your life because you got yourself into too much debt and you can't get out of it, and then you must stay in a job that you hate because you don't have enough money to live for the next 6 months, or you can't try out entrepreneurship because you need to fall back on something, you don't have enough cash, or whatever the situation is. I think you get my point. I know, guys, I sit here and I think so one of the things that has also happened, because I'm the person that, I love to cook, so I'm the one that buys groceries. And so I think last year my husband started to go to the shop, to buy some things. And he would come back with a low bag of some things, or 2-3 bags, and he would complain bitterly. He's like, babe, I spent so much money on groceries. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. Injalo. When now you complain with 3 bags, I come home with 2 trolleys full, okay? So whatever you spend, I spend 3 times that, 5 times that. But it gives him a great appreciation of what it takes to, run the household. We each have our roles, so it's an interesting thing to see how things are fast evolving into completely unmanageable. And I'm talking about us. We are all right. Like, we can. Imagine people who really can't, right? I mean, I saw the other day when I was filling up gas. By the way, this thing of high petrol prices, I want to talk to South Africans who are not very open-minded. You know, one day I was at the hospital. I had taken my son in for his manhood procedure. Okay, let me say it again. For his circumcision. So I'm sitting there listening to these sisters in the theater. They're like, oh my gosh, petrol is going up again. Ah, that's South Africa for you. I really, you know what? If I wasn't so nervous about my son going into theater, I really would have dealt with them, because I like to deal with people like that. I'm like, South Africa, you clearly don't know what's happening around the world. You clearly don't know what the fuel prices or petrol prices are like around the world. It's not a South African problem only. But every time something happens in South Africa, it's, oh yeah, South Africa. I'm thinking, why the hell don't you just leave? Like, if it's so painful for you, why don't you go? And anyway, these are people that don't have another passport. They're like me. You will make it work here. Because guess what? It's not a South African problem only. So I was looking at it the other day. My husband and I were talking about it. Like, yo, cost of living is incredibly high. Incredibly high. But you know what the problem is? Salaries are not going up. So in our business, rates are not being increased. So then you have staff that expect increases, but the rates are not being increased. And if businesses are not getting increase in services, you also have a ripple effect where if I can't give increases to my staff, their cost of living is increasing, then you kind of like, it's just a, you know, vicious cycle. So we need something to turn somehow, you know. But it's very difficult to think how people who have very little are able to survive. But let me also tell you something that I hope you take exactly as I say it. Sometimes having more does not necessarily guarantee you, let me say that in another English. Let me go find another dictionary for the English. Sometimes when you have little, you don't have the alternative of accumulating more, which I think sometimes is a blessing. So let me say that again. And no, I'm not talking about poverty. I'm talking about just someone who's just, you know, living a normal life. That sometimes people aspire to accumulate so many other things that in the bigger scheme of things, if you really think about it, you don't need them. So the problem with having access to credit, access to money, is that you end up accumulating more and more things that you don't need. So when you don't have that access, so when you are not credit worthy, when you don't have access to too much money, I hope that gives you the opportunity to actually stick within what is an absolute necessity, what is an absolute need. So I always say to people, you know, some people are like, oh my gosh, you know, I'll be happy when I have more money, if I get a salary increase, if I get a bonus. I'm like, no, you're not gonna be happy when you get more money. Because you get more money, you'll accumulate more things. You get more money, you accumulate more things. But why are you accumulating more things? Because you have money, because you have access to money. So I hope that as you build up your income, your access to money helps you build money for the future, not to spend it now. And these are things I'm saying because I've been there myself. In fact, there's been times where I feel like, you know, and this is where money lessons must come in. We must learn about money. That you don't have to keep increasing your things. I mean, in every conversation about money is always going to be relative. But what I'm saying is that, you know, one of the things I say to my kids is I want them to stay at school as long as possible. So start your undergrad and go straight to master's, go to PhD. Don't stop in the middle and go work. Why? You know? Why? Like, go study, be a kid as long as possible. And when you start working and you start making some money somehow, however your work is, use that money to explore the world. Use that money to invest, build up your wealth. Don't go and accumulate debt. I think gone are those days when, you know, school, you must buy a house, buy a car, get married, have kids. That entire model of living has been flipped upside down because there's so much more offering out there. There's so much more people can explore to wait. So I'm like, take your money, put it away, and take your money and go grab experiences, go travel. And you know, there's nothing wrong with buying things that you can afford, 100%. But what I'm saying is that when you can't afford them, don't do it. Guys, please, I beg you. There's no winning in a world where you're trying to compete with who looks like what, who's doing what. I mean, half the time I sometimes I go into that thing where you click explore on what's this thing? This one that I'm on Instagram. And you can definitely tell when somebody is trying to be like others, because everyone has the same bag, everyone has the same makeup, everyone has the same hair. What's that thing they put on? Everyone has the same. What's with those things they do with gel? Why, you guys, I mean, you tell me what this thing is around your heads. Where they put styling gel and then they curl the hair on your face. Everyone is doing that. Hey? Everyone is, like, has that high heel. You know that heel with the YSL as a heel thing, that uncomfortable heel. Everyone has that. Everyone has, like why? Oh, why? Like, why? That's how you know people are competing with others. People who don't, like, everyone has that tote, the tote bag. And then you know these new ones, cool, like a lot of writing. Everyone has that. Everyone has, like, so you don't have to chase trends all the time. You don't have, it's called edges. Oh, okay, thank you. I don't have edges, as you can see. I'm sorry, guys, if you do those things. I'm a never fool. Anyway, so I'm just making some points here, so I hope that it makes sense. Baby hair, what is it anyway, guys? Is this like a thing? Who is it? I'm not saying don't like the YSL stilettos. I'm just making an example of how sometimes people of the internet, thank you, Kateko, always, like, people want, you can tell when someone is just trying to be like others. And you can tell when they're showing us that, listen, I also am able to get them. I also am able to do things. I just think the world of show and tell is an interesting world. By the way, there's nothing wrong with buying the stilettos, guys. If you like them, there's nothing wrong with putting your gel and pasting your hair on your forehead. That's fine if that's what you want. If that's what you want, go for it. I'm happy for you. Miss Rosette says, when you have your own products, beauty products, when knocking on retailers' doors, send email or go in? Go in. Go in. Send email and go in, because nobody will read the email. Guys, stop. I need to move on from this hair thing. But that's what they do. That's what you guys do, isn't it? You paste your hair here, and then you do the thing that you do. Funny. But anyway, listen, but I also think that just coming back to this question, there's also remember the other alternative is that there are retailers. I mean, there's one of the finalists in the Verve Clicquot Award, Matebe, owns a platform called Beauty on Tap. And Beauty on Tap is a retailer they retail beauty products. So you no longer have to go to physical stores now. You can actually, get in touch with people who retail those things online. Guys, stop it. Now I'm not laughing anymore. You are on your own. Those people are going to come after me. All right, let's find the next question. Butali says, what would you tell to your 21-year-old self? Nothing. I just tell her to live like she's done. I wouldn't tell myself anything. I always find that question so bizarre, because I'd never live my life with, and I get where it comes from, right? But I don't ever think, what would I have told my younger self? Because what's the point of that question exactly? Like, what's the point of, like, so what if I would have told myself X, Y, Z? Doesn't matter. so I'm always thinking, and sometimes I really actually do my best to answer it, but sometimes I just think, no, I wouldn't have told myself anything. I was busy trying to hustle life, and I managed to. I was graduating when I was 21, and I was like, okay, let's go find a job. I found a job, and so I just think sometimes and I'm not picking at you at all, the person who asked the question, but I just think we have to ask ourselves these things. So if the idea is there something I have learned now in my life that is there something I've learned that I'm not doing that I should have been doing when I was 21 or something? I don't know. I never ask myself those questions because it's pointless. It's pointless information for me. So I'm also a person that has no regrets. I don't look back and think, oh, I should have done things this way. I take the lessons and I move on. So if the question is about what are some of the things that I've found as I've grown up that maybe I wouldn't have thought of when I was 21, then, I guess I could answer that question. But what would I tell my 21-year-old self? No, nothing. Nothing at all. She probably wouldn't listen to me anyway. All right, so maybe ask the question again if there's something that you would like to particularly, if there's something you'd like me to particularly discuss. This question says, hi Amanda, I currently have a 9 to 5. I want to expand my business. I don't know whether to let it grow slowly, saving up money. I don't know whether to let it grow slowly, saving up money, or do you advise if I take a business loan? I will never advise you to take a business loan up front. So fund your business for as long as possible. I just spoke about debt. Yes, business debt is good debt, but it's still debt nonetheless. So if you have the ability to fund your business yourself, go for that first and foremost. And I'm not from the school of thought that says use other people's monies to grow a business. No, because maybe it's because of my relationship with debt. Because it doesn't matter whose debt, whose money it is, it still has to be repaid. So maybe I think small about, you know, funding, and maybe other people might look at it as, you know, you need to fund your ambition. I agree, fund your ambition, but I'm not a person that's going to go take people's monies and fund my ambition. What if something goes wrong here? Now I owe somebody money and I don't realize my ambition. So I don't like owing anyone anything. So for me, even talking to banks about money is the most frustrating thing for me. I find it, let me tell you guys, I will be honest with you, it's degrading to my pride. It's degrading to my pride. Half the time I'm like, I want to tell you to go flush yourself, but I can't because I have to be responsible. I have to be responsible. So I'm not a person that's going to advise you to take a business loan and fund a business you're not even running, because you always have to be thinking about your ability to repay that loan. What is the ability to repay that loan? And I don't live in a world where, you know, you can just go around taking loans and hope for the best. So at least you have a 9-to-5 job. You have the means to fund your business. So I'd say keep funding your business, and hopefully, you know, it starts to pay you back, because that's also a funding relationship, but a different relationship. So when you give money to your business or fund your business, it must pay you back at some point. And then I think there'll be a time when you will need the loan, but don't run for the loan. Yo, man, I'm scared of debt. Yo, because I know debt, eh? When I had that business that I sunk a lot of money on, I didn't only owe the household a lot of money, I also owed lawyers, I owed landlords. I had so much debt. And I had maxed credit cards, I had personal loans just so that I could pay back, because my business had failed, tanked. But I didn't fail. So I went back to work, got a job, and I paid my debts. And yeah, then you make new debts. But yeah, wiser now, you know. Yeah, but business debt is good debt, but you must make sure that you will be able to repay it. But also remember, with every loan you sign surety. You have to provide collateral, security, and sometimes, I mean, you have to put up your assets, whatever. Yeah. So, you know, it's if you can run off your own, bootstrap your own businesses as much as you can. I can tell you, I said this to a friend of mine the other day. I said, if I wasn't scared of debt, I would be one of those business women in South Africa who do mega billions of deals. Like, you buy 40% of a mine or 40% of a large corporate business or 20%. I would be part of that. I would be one of those women, but I cannot do it. It's not for me. It's not my interest. I'm happy to hustle my things and build up over time. I'm happy to take longer, but I cannot lose sleep because I have huge debt. So I cannot stomach huge debt, even if it's, I mean, I bought a business 5 years ago. It's in fact 5 years ago. 4 years ago. I bought a business, an IT business from Adaptite. It was one of the businesses I was running when I was there. Bought it. It's a business intelligence service unit. It cost me a lot of money. Let me just say, I got a loan to buy that business. But remember, I could justify the loan to buy the business because the business was generating income, so it would be able to pay back the loan itself. But I mean, I still had to sign surety for that loan. I bought a business for about 18.5 million rands. I had to sign surety for that. And as an entrepreneur, I mean, maybe I don't know how to do entrepreneurship, but I believe in everything I do, so I have to back it up myself. But the upsides, the beautiful side, is that I finish paying off that loan next year, and I'm gonna be balling. I'll be balling. So patience pays, you know. Patience pays, and sometimes I think it's something that we're not wired for. I think that my philosophy is start. I can't choose something I won't be able to swallow, so I have to chew what I know I'll be able to swallow in small bites. And even if something goes wrong or goes off kilter, unplanned, you know, unseen, I'm able to recover fast. But if something is so big, huge, so I don't care to be seen as an industrialist. You know, us in South Africa, black industrialist. IDC calls you. We are building black industrialists. And you think, yo, I must get a 500 million loan to buy a beer. I'm like, Jesus, never. No, I ain't get. So, exactly, right? So, things are quite relative. For you, 18.5 million might be so huge. But for me, that's my threshold. That's a manageable thing to do. You buy, but that's money that bought a business. So, you buy a business that is cash generating, and it can pay back its own loan. But yes, I think I've said enough about loans and things. Yeah, and look, guys, is actually making a really good point, and it goes back to what I said about security and collateral. Because for every loan you take, you have to provide security. And entrepreneurs have used their homes thinking, you know, sometimes as entrepreneurs, you are sure this thing is going to work. And then, so now what have you done? Surety, your home is gone. This is how people lose everything. So I'd rather take my time and work for longer than I should. I don't know whose timeline it is anyway, because if I'm happy to work, I'm happy to work. But, you know, rather take the time. And entrepreneurship, sometimes it's more about timing as well, you know, because when I had those businesses back then that failed, the timing was wrong. So, you know, and I've learned so much more from that. And I've become a better entrepreneur, a more seasoned entrepreneur. And you know, if I'm going to get into debt for anything, it has to be something that is sure-proof, like where I know for a fact, you know. So, yeah, you sign suretyship for something that you believe in, you know. So, but also don't use your homes as security, guys. No, please don't do it. But talk to advisors, because, I mean, that's not what I do. Just now, you people think I'm scamming you with advice. Someone's going to give you financial advice and claim it's me. I don't do it. You talk to financial advisors. And Tab says, hi Amanda, is it wise for one to have one credit card? It's wise not to have any credit card. But if you really must, one is fine. Please don't go beyond one. You don't need more than one. And stay out. Guys, debt costs a lot of money. I think you should really talk to your financial advisors and talk about how much debt costs you. But credit card, isn't it like 23% interest or something? And now, these days, I can tell you, you no longer need a credit card to book flights, you know, or to pay online, because there are banks that can give you a secure card that is a check card, and you can use it online. So you no longer have to have a credit card. And remember, people like to say, no, I'll take the credit card and I won't use it. Or I'll take it and I'll observe the payment grace period. You know that payment period, I think it's how many days? 52 days. I don't know how many days it is, where you don't pay interest. That's how they catch you, these banks. They'll give you the credit in the credit card. And then you're like, no, because you know, most when now you've got discipline. You're gonna use it, and then you pay off all of it within that period. And then do you ever? No. There you go. It's a 55 days. Exactly. So some people think, no, 55 days, I'm gonna be fine, you know, they can take the whole amount. And then you go and you buy your bags with big designer stuff, and your heels and your wigs and your gels and your whatever you buy. Then before you know it, you can't pay it back in the 55 days. And one of the biggest problems is that in that 55 days, so you tell yourself that, let's say you have 50,000 Rand credit, you're going to go and spend that because you know that, okay, I'll spend 5,000 Rands because maybe I get paid 25,000, and then, you know, they can take the whole amount. But guess what you do when you get to the shop? You spend the whole amount. Then your salaries are not enough to cover it. That's how you then end up in the cycle. That's how you end up in the cycle. So please resist debt as much as you can, even in credit card format. You should really be fighting to live a life of no debt, or debt you can afford. Debt you can afford. And anyway, thank you very much. Steffi says, I have a small business. What are some of the indications that you need to hire employees? Is that a real question? You will know. No, I mean, honestly, I mean, you can't do everything yourself. So you will know when you need capacity. And you know, no one will tell you that. You will know. But you will, and it's all based on what you're doing, who's doing what, and what your skill set is. You never have to do your own books. I always think, give that as an example. So you can hire a bookkeeper or a finance manager, or outsource that. I think that, you know, the only you know what the rhythm of your business is, and yeah, you know, sorry, I'm just reading another comment here. Yeah, okay, I'm just not gonna read that comment. Hi Amanda, what advice can you give someone who wants to transition into business analysis space, no experience but completed a certificate program in BA? Do you think there's possible opportunities for, there's a possibility for opportunities externally? Okay, so here's what I'll tell you. You always have to start internally, because remember, internally you already have some rapport. You already have some, hopefully it's good rapport. Because rapport can be rapport. No, rapport can only be good, ne? Yeah. So make sure that somebody knows of you, because when you want to move from one role to another with no experience, it's just someone who will believe in giving you an opportunity. There's no some scientific formula to it, how to get yourself a job without experience. Someone needs to give you the opportunity. Someone needs to say, yeah, I know you don't have experience as a business analyst, but here's an opportunity to start gaining experience. So talk to people within your own organization, because it's harder to leave your organization and go convince people who don't know you that they must give you an opportunity where you don't have experience. This is where sponsors are so important. I did a session on sponsors, mentors, coaches in on Vastly Sage YouTube channel, so go for it. But start where you are internally. There, people already know you, so talk to people. Sometimes people who don't have experience in something and want to try it, don't speak out loud about their ambitions because they're not secure enough, because they don't have the experience. So they don't have enough confidence to say, I really would like this opportunity, by virtue of not having the experience. But remember, you already have the other experience. You've already been working there. So people know you. So you ask them internally that, listen, I really would love this opportunity. And if you're not getting anything internally, start applying outside there and hope that someone will help you. But I would tell you that your highest chance of success is internally. Temsile says, hi Amanda, I love cooking and very good at it. Tried a business in the space, but don't seem to crack it, especially when it comes to pricing. I love catering. Okay, Tembi, so what's the question, my love? Just tell me what the question is. Is the question that you're struggling with, you don't know how to price, or what's the... Remember, guys, there's also, you know, if for example, I cook, but I cook for fun, so I can't tell you how you would price a meal if you're cooking for business. So try people who do that for a living and ask them, you know, what's the best way to price a meal. But also try and find out how others are doing it in your space, in your similar space. Because competition is a good thing to observe what they are doing and understand what their models are. So I don't know that world. I know how much it cost me to cook for my family, but I don't know how I would price a meal. And your aim is obviously you don't want to overprice yourself, but you can't underprice either. So you have to find the right spot and find your differentiator. So what is it about you that would make people come and buy from you? So yeah, but I mean, it's just find people who do it. Sorry. Sandy says, my job remunerates well, but the passion lacks. What steps can one make, especially wanting to diversify or change careers? I actually did a session on this. I answered this question in the first season of mentorship on YouTube. So the one I did last year or 2020. I can't remember now, but it's there. It's one of the first sessions I did. You are fortunate enough that you are remunerated well, so well done on that. It's unfortunate that you don't have passion, but you need to find out why you don't have passion for what you do. Is it that you just got into it because you just wanted a job, or is it that it's grown monotonous, or you haven't grown yourself over time, and as a result you're kind of like stagnant in what you're doing? You know, there's many reasons why you may lack passion for what you do. So just sit with yourself and find out why is it that you have lost the passion, or you lack the passion. And yeah, I mean, changing careers, I did a whole thing on that, but I think you should go watch it there at the risk of repeating myself. But also I think you can change careers, but again, I want to say that sometimes it's easier to change careers internally where people already know you. Not sometimes, all the time. Because you have to start somewhere. There has to be experience somewhere, right? And it's harder to convince people who don't know you that they must give you an opportunity to change your career. And you can change your career anytime. I just think people are held back by fear, and the remuneration sometimes holds you back from trying something else because you don't want to lose that. So I think go find that session I did, please, and enjoy. Now Cindy so says, hello Amanda, I just started a florist business. Heard you ventured into it. Any advice? What advice do you want, love? I can advise you on many things, but you need to tell me what you're specifically looking for. What advice? Sanandowaza says, I also needed to ask, what's your take on being jack of all trades? I'm 23 and recently opened a physio private practice in June. I have 4 business ideas that actually have solid plans. It's just I'm not sure if I'll be able to give my 100% to all these business ventures. Well, I can tell you that you need to focus on one thing and make that a success, and then spin off and do other things. The problem with doing multiple different things and not succeeding at any of them is because you feel burnt out, and also because well, let me put it this way. If you keep splitting your focus, you're not going to be able to build anything. So I always say, build one primary business that will be a solid business. And plans are not businesses, so they're just plans. But once you build a business, focus on it, but go for the one where you have the highest chance of success. Build that, and then once that is running and going like a nicely well-oiled machine, then, you know, start to do other things. You always want one business to be your anchor. One business to be an anchor. And also remember, there's only one of you. So if you're coming up with multiple different things whilst you're still building one, then you're gonna burn out. You're gonna burn yourself out, and I can tell you that you don't even need me to tell you that. You won't succeed. You'll end up even messing up the one that you have a higher chance of success. So I don't think jack of all trades is the right context here, because you can have multiple businesses. There's nothing wrong with that, but you have to focus on building one. I really believe in that. Focus on building one. So use all your energies in building one, and then you spin off from that business. You can do so many things, so many other things once you have a solid business. And remember, being in business is about generating cash so that you can do whatever else you want to do. You can do your charity work. If you want to do charity work, you can do, you can spin off other businesses. But don't lose focus and split focus. Don't split your focus. Do something and then do it well, and then explore others. And I think that should help. Dr. Nassi says, hello, I'm a medical doctor by profession, currently on study leave, so I have time. I'm an author at heart and ready to tap into purpose, but not prepared for hidden costs behind releasing a book. Advise me, please. Okay. Let me first sip something. So, you are on study leave and you have time. What kind of study leave is this? What kind? Eh? And then you are not ready for hidden costs of releasing a book. Which ones are these hidden costs? Because every cost relating to releasing a book is not hidden. It's very clear. You gotta pay it. So I'm not sure what you might be thinking is the alternative. And maybe I'm just not getting the question. So what is the advice that you would like me to give you? Because if and maybe let me put it this way. Let me try and answer this way. Releasing a book costs money. So, but first you must have the book. And then you must talk to people about what it will cost to get through the book process. Because and it also depends on what kind of book we're talking about. So, guys, stop it. Oh, but you guys know some of these questions are just, I think sometimes people just want to trap me. So, but it's true. I mean, there's nothing hidden about the cost of publishing a book. I don't think that when you publish a book, somebody comes after the fact and says, oh, by the way, this cost is also there. No, they're very clear. The costs are very clear. So maybe if I can try and answer the question this way, because I really don't know what the question is, but let me tell you what happens with publishing a book. The first things first, write the book. So you have nothing to publish if you haven't written a book. So write it. Start writing. And then the largest cost you're going to find is, and I'm saying start writing because honestly, that's the best advice any publisher will tell you. Start writing. Whatever this book is about, start writing. And also the costs that you have to be prepared for that's involved before you publish a book, because the publishing of the book is the outcome of a process. So you write. And writing can take you years. Writing can take you months, weeks. And I don't know how long your study leave is, but I don't think your study leave is going to help you with this process. Unless it's quite a long study leave and you already know what you're going to write about and you have all the ideas and research done, and all you have to do is sit in front of a computer and pull that together. So maybe that will help. But one of the biggest costs as well when it comes to books is editing. So you pay a lot of money for editing. You pay money to design the cover. You pay money to typeset the book. You pay money to publish the book to whatever platform you're publishing it to. You pay money for distribution. You pay. It's pay all the way. I promise you there's nothing hidden about it. But here's the difference. Some people use publishers to handle that book process, but you still have to write the book. And then the publishers can do the entire thing for you, but publishers will take most of the money too. So a friend of mine had a publishing proposal where the publisher was going to take 90% of the proceeds of any book. So publishers will fund your project depending on whether it's fundable or not, like whether it's a worthy project that they want to take on. And remember, for publishers, they're only thinking about their profit line. They're only thinking about making money. So it's the one option, but be willing to part with most of the proceeds. But remember, if you go with the publishing route, the upside is that they get to market the book. They get to, if you've gone with a great publisher, you might be lucky. But they go. Sorry guys, baby, the kids are ready to be fetched. Can you text them, please? Thank you. So you then have to work out, because they do all of that marketing for you. They talk to distributors. So whilst they might take the bulk of the proceeds, they probably ride on the fact that they have reach. So then you might make small. So it's small of something big, but that big is not guaranteed, right? So, and then on the other hand, you can self-publish, but self-publishing, you actually do your, you're gonna go? Okay, babe, thanks. And then sorry guys, I also, I have responsibilities more than just you. So self-publishing though is a process where you actually do everything yourself. When I say do everything yourself, you pay for it yourself. You are the person leading the design process. You write, you get an editor, you pay for it. You fund the project yourself. And you self-publish when you really have a compelling project and a really compelling platform through which you can distribute your book. Amazon is a great distribution platform, but I mean, you need to learn how you're going to do that locally as well, wherever you are. So maybe I hope I'm helping you somehow, but there are no hidden costs in publishing books. No, I've published 3 books. I can tell you the costs are the same, and depending on what you're trying to do and I think that's the most important thing, is what is the purpose of the book? What are you trying to achieve? Because that leads you to, you know, who will be interested in working with you on that book. So one way or the other, you will pay. There's no, you can't avoid the costs. They are not hidden. They are right there, very glaringly so, and they cost. They don't stop costing, because the printing costs, the distribution costs, you know, everything costs. So yeah. Okay. Zam Mama Bear says, "Hi Amanda, you and I are friends, although you are not even aware." I'm always quoting what you said. Okay. Oh, that's sweet. Polissa says, how does one build confidence to put themselves out there? Can I ask you to please watch mentorship session I did on YouTube? I think it was session 8, 7, 8, or I don't know, actually. It's one of those sessions. I talked a lot about self-esteem, and I really will not be able to do justice to the question. I think you should spend the time and watch what I did. I spent a lot of time on it, and I did a lot of work on it, and I really think that it will be helpful. Oh, okay. Can you ask them because I just know how to get there. I don't know the address. Yes, baby? Ngicela ubacele for your address. This question says, what are the chances of publishers stealing your work? Also the manuscript, is it supposed to be... Just give me one moment. Okay, sorry. What are the chances of publishers stealing your work? There's always a chance of someone stealing your work. So when you submit to publishers, potential publishers, you don't submit your whole manuscript up front. I mean, this stuff, you can literally Google it. It tells you what you should submit to a publisher. So you have to be careful with your work. I mean, one of the things that's most Googled is baked in PDF. I'm like, you people, honestly, people of the internet always want things for free. So yeah, you must protect your work, but I mean, you need to do your research and do thorough conversations to see who's credible and who you're going to use. Okay, so this question, Temega says, hi Amanda, I'm a CA by profession and I'm looking for exposure on the board of directors as a non-exec, even in a volunteer basis. How would you advise someone to go about getting this experience? Thank you. So CAs are still quite in demand for board roles. So you'd find that some boards are actually willing to overlook experience on the board when you're a CA, because they can take you in as a you know, they know that you will still be growing in that role as a non-executive director. So my suggestion, my deep 100% recommendation is join boards where you can gain experience. So start on smaller boards, non-profit organization boards. So 100% volunteer, contact a cause that you are passionate about, and I'm 100% certain they would welcome the offer to help. And also once you've, you know, make sure that whatever board you join, because I can say join a smaller board, and then you join a board where you learn nothing, where it's just once a year you meet, you sign off AFSs, but no, that's not going to help you with anything. Join a board that is a structured board. Even if it's a non-profit organization, it must be a structured board. There must be corporate governance. Or join a private company that, you know, that is where you'll be able to learn and get some experience. There's no better way to do it than actually just talk to people. Ask people who run non-profit. Ask people who run companies who have boards. But as a CA, I don't think you'll be short of work. But here's, I mean, I don't think you'll be short of opportunities. But here's what's also happening on boards. Because boards have traditionally been full of CAs, there is a movement towards, you know, getting more non-CAs on boards. So as a CA, I think you are still always going to stand a chance. Okay, always is a long time, but what I'm saying is that don't be too worried about that, because sometimes people will say to you, no, they have too many CAs on this board, they want non-CAs, and diversity of a board is a very important thing. But here's what I'll tell you is that you need to, even though you're a CA, you need to differentiate yourself. So what is your expertise? So industry expertise comes in very handy for boards. So you may be a CA, but what are you operating in? So are you in property? Are you in investments? Are you in mining? Are you in whatever? Because that industry expertise is what will open a door for you on boards as a CA. So also join a search firm. So contact search firms that are credible and reputable, and they will be able to help you with opportunities that become available. But I can tell you, joining a listed board is a completely different game, because they really want strong experience behind you. They want strong board experience behind you. And there are times when they take in, you know, understudies or people who are going to learn to be non-executive directors. And there are board observer programs as well, so be on the lookout for those. And board observers is really about taking potential future non-executive directors and letting them sit on a board for 12 months. So it's like a graduate program of some kind for being on a board. So just look around. But I mean, I think the opportunities are most certainly there and endless. Okay, Butlal is back. She says, I think I wanted to say that what financial advice would you give to a 21-year-old graduate? Oh yeah, I think I started off this conversation, in fact, with that. Don't accumulate debt. Stay away from debt as much as possible. Stop trying to impress people. And I think in our culture, we also have this thing where now that you've graduated, you have a job, then, you know, you must show people, you know, that showing thing, you must show. Then you buy a Passat. You want to go show people that you are successful now, you have a job. So I think we need to move away from this show and tell situation, you know, or show situation. So the less you burden yourself with upfront, the better. And learn to live within what you earn, within your means. Don't try and overburden yourself. Really, guys, I think, in fact, it's really not cute. And I think younger people should know that there's nothing cute about overburdening yourself. What you want is financial freedom. Financial freedom gives you freedom, you know, because you can go traveling, you can take time off work, you know, you don't have to stay in bad relationships because you need someone to support you. You don't have to, you know, financial freedom really sets you free. So if from the start you're just starting to burden yourself with everything, you're not really going to you're going to find it difficult. So I really think that you know, make money, save money, invest money, spend it wisely. And wisely is, don't go out drinking and spend your money. Hey, drinks cost a lot of money. Hey, you guys go to these clubs where you pay so much money for drinks, and then you go home, you have no money for food for the rest of the month. Come on. Also start investing early. So start investing early. When I say invest, not trading. I'm not going to give you that advice because I don't know what it's like. I don't know how that's done. Talk to your financial advisor about having a financial plan, financial goal. You know, say what you want to save for. Invest, you know, and the earlier you do it, the better. I mean, I said, when I started working, I also started working when I was 21, 22. I was earning 3,500 rands, but I started saving 10% of that towards my retirement annuity. And remember, you also get tax benefits from doing that, from investing for your retirement early on. And retirement comes. You might think you're 21, you're too far from retirement, but it creeps up on you. And the unfortunate statistics in South Africa is that not many people will retire comfortably when it's time to retire. So you know, you don't want to be one of the stats. So look after your money, protect your money, but enjoy your money because you work hard for it, right? So find the things that really matter to you, but above everything else, make sure that you don't overburden yourself with debt. Put away as much money as possible. And I can tell you, you know, I've come across such amazing young people who have such great money discipline. You know, I can tell you that we still have, our generation has the hangovers from our parents when it comes to financial wellness. And some of us had to learn the hard way. You know, you carry your family, hey, a tribe, you know, even when you can't. And what I've found is something that's incredible, is how some young people are saying, no, I'm not going to be like that. I'm not going to drag myself down the financial black hole. I'm going to be wise about my money. I'm going to live, I'm going to do as much things as I can do, cash. And I really think that, you know, sometimes not having access to credit really forces you to think differently about money. So don't always, I know we always say, oh, your credit score must be good, because your credit score must be good, because if you're going to get employed by a bank, they'll look at your credit score. They'll look at how are you paying your debts. So even if you do have debts, just make sure you pay them. You know, don't ever skip debt, because it will ruin your life. Those people don't play. You forget to pay the 250 towards that clothing account, you are blacklisted. And coming out of a blacklist, ask the people who've been blacklisted what it did to them. Cost of borrowing becomes really high. And at some point, you might have a family, you might want to buy a house, you know, and the cost of borrowing will really be very high for you if you're blacklisted, because, you know, lenders take advantage of the fact that, no, we'll just price it higher because you are not trustworthy when it comes to paying back. So that is my advice for a 21-year-old graduate. What advice would I give myself? It probably would be the same, just different, since I know myself. All right, I'm gonna be done now, guys, because my sinuses are starting to act up. Finding the right mentor. I think I really did a session on that on Vastly Sage YouTube. So please go camp there and enjoy. This one says, I struggle with public speaking and giving speeches. How can I improve on that? Is it something you have to do? If you have to do it, then you can go, I mean, you attend Toastmasters, attend public speaking courses. But also I think it's important to understand what you're talking about, because I mean, anyone can stand on a public platform and speak, you know, it's what is the aim of you wanting to be better at public speaking and giving speeches? What's the vision? What's the aim? What are you talking about? But you can go, you can join, you can actually go, there's public speaking courses, how to give you confidence, how to present. In fact, there's courses for presentation skills. Just Google those. There's plenty of them. But I think outside of that, just be clear what it is that you are trying to achieve with your voice. Because sometimes if you start there, then you'll be better led to how you deliver, because not all of us have to deliver our messages in the same manner. So it depends on what you're trying to do, but it can be learned. You can learn how to present. You can possibly even be trained how to be a public speaker, but an impactful speaker is something else, because you can speak and you have no impact. So the impact part comes from what you're talking about and how you're delivering it. Okay. Sorry guys, some of these questions I'm not gonna answer. This one says, how was it to grow in life and livelihood after abuse? You can buy my book, Baked in Pain. It's at amandatambuza.com or amazon.com. Can I come to East London and share some financial wisdom with the young ladies? No, I don't do financial advice. Because for various reasons. I mean, lots of you, some people have been scammed by people claiming to be me teaching them to trade. I've got 1 billion views on TikTok saying I teach people how to trade. I've never even opened a TikTok account. So I don't do financial advice. I'll just talk about things that I've learned, and I'm happy to share them here. But I don't give financial advice because nobody's supposed to. If you're not a certified financial planner, financial professional, you should not be giving advice, and you should not be taking advice from people who don't know what they're talking about. And of course, like, you know, your uncle, your aunt, your friend can share some of the things they've done in managing their finances. But I don't give, and I won't go and talk about financial advice. Okay, I think I'm done. I need to sort myself out. Guys, I did a lot of work on the Vastly Sage YouTube channel. So some of the questions I've answered them there in literally like 2-hour type format. So I would like you to rather go there and check that. I have no need to share what mistakes I made in my financial journey, because I've already said that. I shared what I shared, but I don't think it's something that's for other people to care for. Make your own mistakes and fix them. Because sometimes it doesn't matter what I tell you, you'll do what you want anyway. So, but maybe you should watch this again, because I said quite a lot here. So thank you very much, guys. I need to go wash up and get into warm clothes. My fire is fine, but I'm tired now. So bye. We'll do it again another time. I don't know when, but Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And I hope that I helped you somehow, in whatever way. Cheers, guys. Take care. Enjoy your weekend. Take good care. And see you in Botswana if you have a ticket. Bye.